Thanks for coming to the presentation today. My name is Paddy Nicol, President and CEO. And for the past couple metal investor forums back in, I think it was March in Toronto, here in January, I talked about sort of more of a corporate overview of the company, all the joint ventures and alliances and activities that we've got. Today it's going to be a bit of a different focus. We're going to look at Cuale, and obviously it's been the project that's generated a lot of interest in our stock lately, and the share price has moved considerably on it. So that's what we're going to look at today. Before we get into Cuale, just to focus on sort of the three key value generators in Evrim that we think are really important, and one of which obviously is being a prospect generator. You've got a lot of joint ventures, alliances. We work on a lot of generative ideas, and we work those ideas up and get them into partners' hands. And we've got 6 such joint ventures with producing companies. We also have an alliance with Newmont Mining. What that equates to, at least for 2018, is about 20 to 25,000 meters of drilling. That's 5 to 6 separate drilling programs. And that's about $7 to $8 million of partner-funded exploration. And I want to emphasize that's partner-funded programs. That's not our money. So we do that. And then the next stage is obviously for us is royalties. And a lot of these royalties are born out of the exploration partnerships that we've established over the past 7 years. The key one for us is the Ermitaño project. That is a joint venture we've got with First Majestic Silver. They announced a 40.8 million ounce silver equivalent resource back in March. So it's about 550,000 ounces of gold. And so our hope is that's going to be in production in the next 18 to 24 months. And we'll end up with a 2% non-viable NSR on it. And then the final one is, this is new to Evrim, new to the market. This is the 100% owned projects. And through our generative efforts, we probably go through 35 to 45 projects per year, every year. So since Evrim's inception, I bet you we've probably looked at somewhere in the range of 300 projects. And so out of that analysis came Cuale. And so we have a pretty high bar when it comes to looking at projects that we think is a project that we want to keep, and we want to take the shot at drilling on our own. And that's going to be the focus of the rest of the presentation here. So Cuale, where is it? It's in Jalisco, Mexico. And so you see the graphic on your right. That is the western side of Mexico. The Gulf of California is right beside it there. And so that extends from Sonora on down to Jalisco. We are in the southern extreme end of that belt. Cuale is a high sulfidation epithermal target, and if you look at that graphic as well, you see a lot of those small white dots. They are either low sulfidation or other types of gold targets. The high sulfidation targets that we are looking at, or at least we like to compare ourselves to, include El Sazal, which is a 2 million ounce deposit, was a past gold producer with Goldcorp, and then Mulatos, which is owned by Alamos, that's a 5 million ounce mine. And more recently, the La India deposit, which was taken out by Agnico in, I think, 2011. This project is 100% owned by Evrim. We acquired this way back in 2012 under the Cuale Royalties Alliance. And basically, they funded the generative idea and the acquisition, so we got the project for free with the exception of 1.5% precious metal royalty payable to Altius Minerals. So we're going to zoom in a little bit here. Now this is in Jalisco State, so if you've been to Puerto Vallarta, you've been to Jalisco. And Cuale is located about 2 hours south of Puerto Vallarta, so it's an easy drive to get to the project. The area itself is more known as a polymetallic district, and so you've got the Barqueño deposit, which is being developed by Agnico, and then the Terranera, which is being developed by Endeavour Silver. And when we staked the claims back in 2012, we initially staked about a 97 square kilometer claim block. Since the results, we've now grown that out to 232 square kilometers. It did take us a fair bit of time to get title, and I won't go into the reasons why right now, but the main thing is that title was granted to us in November of 2017, so just on 7 months ago. So in December of 2018, we got down onto the project, and this is zooming in on it now. This is kind of what it looks like. This is the hill, Cuale, and La Gloria sits at the very top of that. So the relief from the base of the valley up onto the project is about 1,000 meters, so 3,000 feet. The extent of the alteration system, you see it highlighted with that yellow dotted line. That's about 3.5 by 3 kilometers, so it's a fairly healthy size. And so getting to the project is easy, as I mentioned. The road runs right to the base of that hill. There's a power line that runs across the southern part of the project, so basic infrastructure is in place already. And the thing that struck us about Cuale is that there's no previous exploration at all in the project. So that's very unique for a project like this. So it's a really new, fresh new project for the market. So that's neat to see. So, as I mentioned, we started to do work on this in December of 2017. So when you think about it, we've had this project under exploration for only 6 months now. We've invested about $300,000, so this is early days for the project. And so the first round of work was to do some soils and rock chip sampling, and that's what got us focused into the La Gloria area. It was identified as a 300 by 300 meter zone of outcropping gold mineralization. And so we did an initial round of trenching. It was fairly small. The results that came back, and these were announced back in early January or mid-January, I believe, they were grading about 0.5 gram per ton over about 20 meters. It was exciting enough for us to come back and extend both trenches 1, 2, and 3. And the results that came back in the second round of trenching were phenomenal. Trench 1, in its entire length, is about 350 meters. And it grades about 1.28 grams per ton gold. Within there's a 263 meter zone that grades 1.67 grams, and obviously there's higher grade results over narrow intervals as well. But the thing that struck us about, especially Trench 1 in the beginning, was the fact that the grade is very consistent. If you look at the legend on the lower right part of the screen, anything from yellow to orange to red and dark red is basically 0.5 gram and up. And you can see the consistency of grade throughout that trench. Trench 4, not as long, but even more impressive, was 106 meters, grading 13.17 grams per ton gold. There's a couple of high-grade spots in there, but even without those high-grade zones, there's a 25-meter section of 4 grams. The gold pan sample that you see there came out of Trench 4. We took that about a month ago. Those are the guys that are digging it out of the trench. So it's pretty neat to show a project with a gold pan like that. So where are we at right now? We have a third round of work ahead of us, and so this is a $1.4 million program that we are drilling ourselves. And so the first step is the community engagement that is underway. We're working with the local ejidos and getting to know the community. There is a soil sampling program and a mapping program that's underway, and that's going to take place over the rest of the month. After that, we will start on a geophysical program. In the geophysics, I haven't really spent a lot of time talking about it in this presentation, but we'll be doing a CSAMT, a round of geophysics, which helps us see sort of that third dimension of what could possibly be at depth, and that's going to help greatly with the drill targeting. And in a conjunction with that, we'll be doing a lot of infill trenching, so trenching within the zone of La Gloria, so filling in between trenches 2 and trench 4, and then elsewhere in the project as well. La Gloria itself sits in a fairly large size, high temperature footprint, which is about 2,200 meters by 1,500 meters, so we've just really scratched the surface when we look at just La Gloria. And then on top of that, we've got permits in with the local government in Jalisco right now, and we expect to see about 3,000 meters of drilling starting mid-July. And so that will be kind of the indicator of what things look like at depth. So when you think about the work that we've got with Cuale and the work that we've got with all the other projects, we've got a drilling program that's going on right now with First Majestic on our Ermitaño West project. We've also got a drilling program which we announced this morning on our Axe project in South Central BC. That is in a joint venture with Antofagasta. We've already, by mid-July, we'll have 3 drilling programs underway. We expect to have drill program 4 with our partner Harvest Gold on Cerro Cascaron later this summer, and then possibly a drilling program with Antofagasta on our Ball Creek project in July. So what that means for us is there's a high degree of news flow that's going to be coming out over the next year, and not only with Cuale. I mean, Cuale, we expect to see some great results out of it over the summertime, but any one of the other projects that we're working on today can also hit. And so we're giving our shareholders lots of opportunity to exploration success. And that's it. Thanks very much.